undetectable equals untransmittable.
Yes.
You equals you. And it's really, really key because you talk about stigma. There's all this stigma about people living with HIV and sexual relations. Well, if someone is virologically suppressed, you know, they're on their medications, the virus is suppressed, they're unable, scientifically proven, to transmit the virus. And so we now are sitting in a place where we have an intervention, we have a tool that I actually believe that in our lifetime, we will see the end to the HIV epidemic.
Now, this is a conversation you're going to want to hear. It was dynamic, it was heartwarming and heartbreaking about the crisis that's in front of us that we can solve. Listen closely for our conversation with Rashad Burgess from Gilead. All right, what's up, y'all? We are back with Our American Dreams. And guess who I got today? I got the one and only Rashad Burgess, the Vice President of Corporate Responsibility at Gilead Sciences. Thank you for being here.
Oh, Kelley, thank you for having me. It really means so much that you would invite me into this space, and I'm so incredibly proud of all the work that you're doing, that HRC is doing, fighting for all of our freedom.
Oh, I'm proud of me. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of us. You know, it's such an important time, I feel like, in the context of our world to figure out ways, any way you can, whether it's at work, or at home, or in your family, to advance change, to make people know that they're seen and heard and that they're cared for. And I feel like you do that in a tremendous way in your role at Gilead.
I understand the power of visibility. You know, I'm originally from Chicago. I grew up feeling in many ways isolated, not always seen, and my fully integrated self would have to be black in one space, gay in another space. And so I understand that it is important to have visibility. It's important for our leadership, it's important for our movement, and it's important for change.
Yeah, and I feel like what I've also learned, especially from you and our partner work, is it's not only important for change, but visibility can be life-saving and life-changing.
Oh, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. And because we know what invisibility does, it drives stigma, it drives shame, and those are all predictors to outcomes that none of us want.
Yeah, okay, now I need you to speak on that for a minute. So you're the Vice President of Corporate Social Responsibility.
Corporate Responsibility.
Corporate Responsibility.
Yes.
Can you tell us, like, what does that mean and how did you end up in that role and in this field?
Yeah. So Vice President of Corporate Responsibility, I have the responsibility of bringing together our philanthropy, bringing together our responsible business practices, as well as our public-private partnerships that are doing transformative work in the healthcare system.
That's amazing. Look, I grew up on the south side of Chicago, too.
I know.
Would you have ever imagined? Yes.
I always say I am living out the prayers of my grandmother and my grandmothers. Like they never could have imagined, but they prayed and wanted better. And so I get to benefit from that. And, you know, and so much has happened in my journey, both personally, but also professionally. And I had amazing people in my life, and two of those amazing people lost the fight to the virus. And it changed the course because one took his last breath on his mother's couch and had family love, but didn't have the best access to care. But the other had good access to care, but was navigating such family shame. As a matter of fact, at the service, we're not allowed to say what he passed of. They would say he volunteered at the AIDS Foundation of Chicago. And in that moment, sitting in the service, I felt like I got my calling because I got to see what stigma's doing and what stigma does and how it was eroding our community as I was watching so many black and brown folks in the south sides of Chicago lose the battle.
Can you just speak, like, for people that may not know as much, a little bit about what the arc of history has been like in this fight to end HIV?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, the first reported case was in June of '81, that famous MMWR. And what's always interesting about those early cases is that it was framed as a white gay man's disease. But actually, when you double click, actually it was already disproportionately impacting people of color. And by the mid-90s, HIV and AIDS was disproportionately impacting, that was further exacerbating. It was the #1 cause of death for Black folks in the U.S. I believe that was like in 95, 96.
Wow.
So, I mean, it has such devastating impact on our communities. Now, the other thing that happened in the 90s that's important to speak to is that we had enormous breakthroughs in innovation and in medicine. And so what started out as a very, very complicated virus to treat, and what many people lost their lives to the virus, we began to see a dramatic change in that protease inhibitors in 1996 became available. I was actually at the International Conference on AIDS in Vancouver when that big study read out. We joked about it, calling it the Lazarus effect. In that, there were people who literally were making arrangements for their final moments that actually got access to protease inhibitors and ended up being able to go back and live their lives just as they were before. It used to be a death sentence. Now it's a chronic condition.
Wow. I mean, that's incredible. And you're talking about those advancements in the last 20, 25 years?
That's exactly right. And one of the things that I'm so proud of at Gilead is that we have been working on these advancements since the beginning. And what's key is we can end the epidemic. Because the other thing we know is important to give voice to this is that there are pivotal studies that show that people who are living with HIV, who are on therapies, undetectable, are unable to transmit the virus.
Say that one more time.
Undetectable equals untransmittable.
Yes.
You equals you. And it's really, really key because you talk about stigma. There's all this stigma about people living with HIV and sexual relations. Well, if someone is virologically suppressed, they're on their medications, the virus is suppressed, they're unable, scientifically proven, to transmit the virus. And so we now are sitting in a place where we have an intervention, we have a tool that I actually believe that in our lifetime, we will see the end to the HIV epidemic.
Now that
it is within reach.
It is within reach.
It's within reach.
Yeah.
But we have to marry that intervention with access. We have to marry that intervention and bring that intervention into our partnerships and really rallying community so that community voices are a part of the solution.
Hey,
how you doing?
Good afternoon. Good morning. How you doing? I'm Tony Burke. I'm one of the coordinators here at Division for Hope. So we love to have you here today, and we kind of want to walk you through.
Yeah, she was telling me that they opened this location in 2020. So they had the whole pandemic and then the impacts and then...
So we knew that there was a need. Everybody with the monkeypox and all the things that was going on, those things that were going on. So we knew here that it was a need for us to kind of make an impact in community. So our primary focus was to make sure that everybody was heard in that space and everybody had access to serve. So as we head back to the space, you guys will see these are some of our exam rooms that we're talking about PrEP, DoxyPEP, we're talking about HRT. We're having major conversations in all these rooms. This is when they come in, they're going to meet the patient navigators. So they're going to have those personal conversations to kind of navigate them through the process and how everything works here.
Yeah.
Case management. This is the important piece right here because this bridges the gap. This keeps people on medication that they cannot afford. Give them access to the things that they cannot financially have access to.
So, okay, here's my question. First, I have never met somebody that could so seamlessly talk about science, make me want to shout about it, get into sexuality, get into risk and movement building, what we need to do. This is impressive, okay?
Oh, wow.
Yes, you're doing it all.
This is coming from the Kelley Robinson, okay?
You have me want to throw my cue cards at you.
I have experienced your power, so some of this has been feeding off yours, so thank you.
And my question is, so over the last 25, 30 years, there have been these tremendous improvements, the infrastructure to meet people where they are, the innovations and the science. What is it going to take in the next 10 to 15 to actually get to the point where we are ending the virus?
I think one is that we have to be persistent. So we have to take the toolbox and we have to use it. And we have to have a level of discipline, rigor, persistency, and resiliency to make sure that the communities that are most vulnerable are getting access to these innovations, whether that's through our healthcare systems, whether that is through community engagement, whether that is through getting the education, getting the word out. But we have to make sure that no matter who you are and where you sit on this ecosystem, are bringing the innovation to the people.
Yes, yeah. And I think this is a challenging time for folks that we're in, right? People are fearful and afraid. They're not feeling secure and stable from the economy to healthcare access. It seems to me to be one of those moments where, like you said, if we don't double down right now, we could risk losing some of the progress that we've made to get to here.
Well, that's exactly right. Our movement is built on fighting.
Come on. Yes.
It is built on protest. It is built on showing up. It is built on speaking for the people who have been left behind. And we cannot dim our voices now. One of the things that is no change happens because people were focused on their own comfort.
That's another word. No change happens.
Because you were concerned about your own comfort. You have to be willing to take the risk and be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
This is the moment, because what we risk is not ending the epidemic.
What does the American dream mean to you?
It means our continued pursuit of freedom.
Yes.
Our continued pursuit of freedom. The ability to be free and to love, and to be free and pursue our families of our choice. The freedom to have full, unfettered access to health care. I believe health care is a right for all of us, and that the same quality of health care that one can get in Buckhead, Atlanta, someone should be able to get in Southwest Atlanta.
That's right.
That there's real equity. So when I think about the dream of America, it's about opportunity, and it's about freedom.
Yes, and our dreams are still worth fighting
our
for.
dreams are still worth fighting for.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
It was such an honor.
The people need a little hope. Can you give our people a message about what we need to be thinking about and doing in this moment?
We need to stay focused, because ending the HIV epidemic is within reach and is possible within our lifetimes.
Now that's a mic drop.
There we go.
Thanks for tuning in. Don't just look. Come on, like, subscribe, and come on and watch again.